we've been there for each other, and thank God Aaron's alive.
Thank you.
He had an expectation, and that was that he was going to get off, and I wasn't going to be allowed to be left alone until he got off. Dr. Ariana Brandolini often looks after victims of abuse and knows how difficult it is for them to go public, especially when they are celebrities, and many fans don't want to hear such allegations.
Love ya!
Lately I've been thinking about the things that we've been through, and I don't know if I'd be here if not for you. I had to take a little time to try to work things out, and you should know that I had never meant to let you down. 'Cause I want to tell you that I'm sorry, and even when I'm not giving enough and I'm taking too much, you're still there for me. And even when I got nothing at all and I'm ready to fall, you're still there for me. There for me. There for me.
There are some extremely disturbing allegations that have come out against Nick Carter, who is a part of the Backstreet Boys and unfortunately recently lost his brother, Aaron Carter. These allegations are extremely dark, extremely disturbing, and very upsetting to hear about. I grew up in the 90s and the early 2000s listening to the Backstreet Boys. Hearing about these allegations, and some of them that have been around since I was a child that I didn't know about, are extremely upsetting. It's always disheartening when you hear things like this from a band that you really love, music that you know by heart. I saw them in concert for the first time a few years ago for my birthday. This sucks. With that being said, I have heard some things about Nick Carter even before this, and also I watched the Carter show that they had, which was called House of Carters. It was a reality show that followed the Carter family.
Please no music.
You say this every night.
Yeah, but let me tell you something real quick. You're gonna turn the music down and respect me,
Hey,
all right?
spit in my face,
all right?
dog. Don't
all
spit
right?
in my face,
all right?
man.
You're gonna respect
Don't
me.
spit in my
You're gonna
face.
respect me.
Don't spit in my
You're gonna
face,
respect me.
Nick.
You're gonna
Don't
respect
spit
me.
in my face.
You're
I'm
gonna
sick
respect
of you
me.
doing this to me.
You're
Stop
gonna
it.
respect me.
Stop it.
You're gonna respect me.
Stop it. What are you doing?
You're gonna respect.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
You're gonna respect my
Get
house.
out of my room. What are you doing?
No, it's just. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
On the police.
You guys, no, don't.
You came at me. You don't see what he did to me?
Shut the up. I didn't come at you.
Excuse me? I walk away from you. Every time you fight with me, I run away from you. Excuse me? You're not a good person, and everybody sees it, Nick.
Let's get into it. On November 2017, Melissa claimed that she was SA'd by Nick Carter when she was 18. As she tells it, he initially reached out to her through his representatives, who got in touch with her representatives, and she was basically pressured into having a phone call with him as a way of showing respect to him and his label. Her label already knew that she was in a serious relationship, but was still pressured to entertain him. But because she had a boyfriend at the time, nothing really happened after the phone call. A few years later, she would be cast in the made-for-TV film The Hollow, as I mentioned in my last video, and Nick was also in the cast. She didn't give any details about how that came about, but I can speculate that it was orchestrated on his part. The now single Melissa was actually enjoying his company on set, so she agreed to a double date at his Santa Monica apartment, which included one of his friends and one of hers. She goes on to describe what sounds like a good time. They were drinking, playing video games. She was under the age of 21, and they did provide alcohol to them. Somewhere down the line, he mentioned he had a few new songs that he wanted to play her in his office, and he did play her that music. They started making out, and that's where things go south. I will link her full testimony in the description below, but we're basically looking at a situation where he was not acknowledging her no's. She repeatedly expressed that she didn't want to go that far. She even tried talking her way out of it by explaining that she was saving herself for her husband, to which he allegedly replied, "I could be your husband." And reading that pissed me off, because I can't imagine being a young girl, setting that goal for yourself, and hearing a man mock you before breaching your boundary. We all know he didn't mean that, so why else would he say that if it wasn't to mock her? As the act was progressing, she was noticing him getting angrier and more impatient with her, so she felt like leaving was not an option. Whether or not he was going to let her leave, we will never know, but in that moment she felt intimidated, which I think matters. She doesn't say how long after, but sometime after the date, he tries to call her. Once he realized that she was ghosting him, he began blowing up her phone until ultimately leaving her a nasty voicemail before finally stopping. It was after that she decided to confide in her manager about what happened, and she said that she wanted to report it. They were quickly informed that Nick had one of the most powerful litigators in the country. For those of you who may not know, until BTS happened, the Backstreet Boys were the highest earning boy group of all time. They may even still have it over BTS, that is beyond my area of expertise. They've sold well over 100 million albums. I've seen some sources say 130, others 160, either way you get the picture. So can you imagine the repercussions of anyone accusing a BTS member of being any kind of criminal? Not happening. And if it's not happening in 2021, it clearly wasn't going to happen in 2003. So she did what a ton of men and women in the entertainment business have to do. They try to get over it and they try to thrive within the realm of their abusers. She ended up signing with Kenneth Creer as her new manager in pursuit of her solo career, but Kenneth was already Nick's manager, so on the outside looking in, what the hell. But when looking into Kenneth's career, he managed Mary Mary, a gospel duo, super famous, gorgeous voices, a big deal. And he was the executive producer of Drew Hill's double platinum album Enter the Drew, but he was also the lead singer's manager, Cisco, who went on to have a successful solo career. So it does make sense that she wanted to work with him, and at the end of the day, Nick was also from a boy group, so this man had experience working with groups and breaking soloists from groups. And being managed by the same person doesn't at all mean you'll have anything to do with each other, but unfortunately for her, they did end up having things to do with each other. They did end up having to work together on a song that was recorded separately. The way it sounded was that it was already recorded and kind of shelved, and she added vocals to it at a later time, but it did end up being the final cut, and they did have to do one gig together, and she describes it as super awkward, and Nick was visibly irritated by that awkwardness. And after the show was over, Kenneth didn't really want to work with her anymore, and that was the end of her career pretty much. And she lived with this secret for almost 15 years until the rise of the Me Too movement, in which she felt like this was her one opportunity to be heard. And unfortunately, I agree with that. I think that was probably the one point in time where people were actually listening first before attacking, but they were still pretty much attacking.
Nick Carter's dad. Please tell me it's positive. I'm excited for this new show, Boy Bands. Hopefully it's as good as like American Idol and stuff. I'll have to Google what happened to Nick Carter's dad. Oh my gosh, no it didn't. Oh my gosh. That poor guy has gone through so much. His sister, now his dad. Poor guy. He's been through it, man, I'll tell ya. So sad. Yes, Boy Band is going to be amazing. I can't wait for it. It's going to be so fun. I was surprised. Is Nick the only judge on that show?
Get way cleaner clothes way faster.
That's so nice, Jay. Yes, we all should be praying for him. Aaron Carter. Aaron's a hoot.
Carter had raped her.
I think it was 2002 she said it happened.
Yes, and she filed a police report earlier this year, and that investigation is ongoing. But we got Brian Luttrell out, and we asked him what to say about Nick and the allegations and how it's affecting him.
As far as you guys are concerned, like, everyone has full faith in him, like, if this...
Yeah, this has been going on for a long time, and, you know, unfortunately there are fame seekers that are out there, and this situation, you know, he's been forthright and honest with us, and we have to stand beside our bandmate. That's all we can do.
Now, what would happen if they were to, like, you know, like, it goes to trial and then this and that, charges are pressed? Would the band have to pause?
You know,
or could you go on without Nick?
well, at the end of the day, we have to, you know, we'll have to assess that bridge when we get there. I honestly don't feel like it will be there.
Right.
You know, we feel confident in the situation.
First of all, I think it's fair to say that it was just transferred over to the DA last week, so he hasn't been charged with anything.
Is that right? Just went to the DA?
Yeah, last week the DA got it, so he officially has not been charged. So it's kind of one of those innocent and proven guilty things, right? I mean, we can't already just accuse this guy of all these things until it happens.
I mean, she can accuse him, obviously, and she feels that she's in the right, but we will see what the DA says.
Hi, it's Tracy from New Jersey. Melissa Schuman was on Dr. Oz, and she was saying that the reason it took her so long to say anything was because she felt like she wasn't protected until, like, right now we're in an environment where everybody is coming out because they feel more comfortable coming out with the things that happened to them in the past. But ultimately, you know, I wasn't in the room. Brian Luttrell wasn't in the room with them. And whatever took place in 2002, I mean, only the two of them know. I mean, and what does she have to gain? She's married. She's actually still touring with Dream. I saw her actually 2 years ago open up for New Kids on the Block. I don't think she has anything to gain.
Okay. Well, like I said, we will see what happens, comes out of the DA's office.
It's foul. It's pathetic. I'm going to call you out with integrity and being a fucking dickhead. If you don't fucking like it, then tell me why you fucking broke your own heart. Fucking bitches sticking up for fucking serial rapists.
These are my sweaters. I make them with my hands. I'm a great white shark. Drug addicted shark. Yes, I'm a drug addicted shark.
What did you do today good with your life, bitch?
What the fuck was that?
Are you okay? You sure you're okay?
Not here to talk shit. I went to rehab twice, admittedly. Both times I went for huffing duster. My twin sister and my brother fabricated a lie that I wanted to kill my brother's wife and his unborn child.